Hello, how's it going, everyone? Winter is very much here, and it's very cold out. But having a slightly later start to the day. She's inside. We've been putting up Christmas decorations all morning. She's inside with Dan. We're gonna have a lovely day together, and I'm going to get out here. I've got some orders to do. I've got some lasering for Jonathan to do so that he can pick it up tomorrow. And I'm hoping I have enough time to do a few more little shop upgrades. I'm thinking probably do some stuff on the drawers. But we'll see how far we get. Now that that's running over there, I have a few things to put away in here, but the bulk of it, what I have to do is I have to sand that and cut out some shelves. So I guess we're going to test out some of the new dust collection stuff, because I've got to run everything through the drum sander. It's going to be fun. Now, when he was here last time, we did all these upgrades. We did notice a little bit of dust. You can see here. A little bit that kind of came through around the base of the barrel. There's nothing at the top, but there's a tiny bit at the base of the barrel. So I'm going to vacuum this up and see if it was because we just didn't let the silicone dry, because I think that silicone froze slightly, but it seems to be curing now. So I'm going to vacuum this up before I run the machine, and we'll see if even a little bit explodes. If so, then that's the area that obviously needs more silicone. Okay, this is mind-boggling cool. Normally, when I use this machine, it is hooked up to the dust collector. It is having some dust collected, but over here, normally, at least some of it is still on this belt, and it rolls off, and it hits that rail, and it builds up. Now, obviously, there's more dust here. That's just regular dust throughout the shop, but pretty much everything that usually hits here is coming off of this belt, and I probably should have cleaned that off before I ran this, but I was watching. Nothing was falling off of this. Nothing was even making it to here. All the dust was going, ooh, static. I had to ground that apparently. All the dust was going into this, and even the boards, which again, normally I have a little bit of dust on it. Wipe my hand on this. There's nothing. There's nothing even on the boards. That works spectacularly well. I'm really excited, because that basically means that for the most part, that is a little bit of fine tuning to get the maximum at each tool. but for the most part, nothing along that back wall or along this side wall will ever spew dust back into this workshop. I mean, the air, you can tell the air is actually, there's no dust flying around the shop. I almost don't need to wear the dust mask. This is a very, very good improvement. I think I'm gonna vacuum up around this because now that I know it's not gonna spew dust anywhere, there's actually a point of cleaning it up, just like I did in the back room. Since the dust collector wasn't gonna spew, then I might as well clean it up. I'm excited. I'm a little less excited about the next thing I have to do. Because the next tool that these boards have to go through is the chop saw. And the chop saw is not hooked up to this new system. It will, however, eventually be getting a system of its own, a mini version with a shop vac, a cyclone, and a bin in that drawer there. And come up, and Jonathan was saying that there is a fin, or some sort of a brush, basically, that you can attach to the bottom where the dust collection normally happens on this machine. Basically, it replaces this little jobby that doesn't really do anything. And then obviously hook up a hose to there, and it sucks it all the way down. And obviously that stuff won't be there, but we'll have the shop vac with a mini cyclone and a collector bin in that drawer. That hopefully is the next system that will get hooked up. But for now, I'm just excited that all of those tools are actually hooked up. I've only been waiting like 3 years. Like we moved into this shop, I started gutting it over 3 years ago, and I've been working in it for 3 years. I've only been waiting that long for proper dust collection in this place. We're getting there. All vacuumed up. He went all the way up to the rafters. You can see where I stopped there. And I stopped about here. I even managed to vacuum the wall. I mean, this thing almost looks brand new. Honestly, I have no idea why I didn't do this sooner, because this is fantastic. And again, every time I vacuum a spot, it just looks so much happier in here. So much more positive and less covered in layers and layers and layers of dust. Which, I mean, when we renovated this place, I actually pressure washed the entire of the inside of the building. I pressure washed the walls, the floors, quite a bit of the ceiling, mainly because there was a lot of rodents and critters and other things living in here, so I wanted to clean all that out. So literally every speck of dust that's in here, I put here. I'm getting all of it out. Okay, so I had to run a few more boards through for my stuff that I'm making, but as you can see, that dust collection is doing an absolutely amazing job. Normally there would be a whole bunch of sawdust piled up on this bar and also on the floor below it. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't put more effort into getting this done sooner. Alright, well, it's been a few days since I started this video. I have since then tested out the dust collector on the other side of this wall with most of the tools I use on a regular basis. So the drum sander, the bandsaw. I haven't really tested it out on these little guys because I haven't really used them this week. And obviously I just tested it out on that. There's a few things that, like just fine tuning the dust collection at the actual tool. I mean, at the moment, this is kind of bungee corded on there. It works, and I mean, I am kind of brushing the stuff into the pipe, but at least I'm brushing it into the pipe and not onto the floor anymore, so we're making progress. And overall, in the back here, it's just looking cleaner and cleaner, just in general. You can actually get to everything. All of this is looking nice and clean and organized. I still need to figure out what to do with the cut-off pieces that aren't really full piece of cardboard, but they're big enough I can still use them. So I don't want to tuck them up with those pieces because that'll just get annoying. That is currently up for sale. There is one small problem. This, because it's mounted on this wall now, vibrates this entire parts wall. So basically that just means we have to lift this up and get some foam in between the brackets and the actual machine. That'll stop vibrating that. So that'll be fine. And apparently I also need to get the plug in here. Only some of my workshop is actually wired in. Some of it, although it looks like it's wired in, it's just strategically run extension cords. As you can kind of see from my super professional looking electrical panel. So I did find out that the plug that I normally plug the dust collector in over there is also on the same circuit as the drill press, so they trip their circuit. So I moved that one over just to one of these wall plugs over here that is meant to run the ones along the back wall. I have 212, which is a heavier gauge wire than regular. I have it in order to run a plug on a switch all the way over there. I'd prefer that it was armored cable, because when we first got here, the mice had chewed every single wire in this place. Now all that was behind walls, and most of my stuff is not actually behind walls, it's just kind of strategically run where you can't really see it that clearly from here, but eventually some of these things will get closed up into cavities. Like a lot of the electrical for all these walls are actually being run behind that backsplash all the way around, which is what that's for, is actually mount the plugs into. But I think I'm just going to, I got regular 212, or 12.2. I have regular 12.2, so I think I might just run one over there just temporarily, and I'll switch out for armored cable later. Just so that it's on its own circuit, because it kind of should be on its own circuit. It pulls enough power on its own that if it's run with another tool, like say the drill press, it really doesn't pull that much to begin with, it will trip the breaker, because it's just too much. But all in all, I'm quite happy with this. I think Jonathan is hoping to come out one more time before Christmas to get a few more things done. But I'm going to, now that that room is really nice and organized, there's still stuff in there, but I'm going to move on to the next portion of organizing the shop, which is going to be this mess of a paint desk thing. Yeah, that's gonna be another video. Right now I'm gonna finish up my orders and I'm gonna go inside and have supper. We will see you later.